This is Mentally Dope. Join us, Charmaine and Jasmine, two Black licensed therapists, as we build a bridge between mental health and Black culture. Come on, it's gonna be dope.
Hi guys! Hey, we are back. We are staying mentally dope. We are here for another episode.
Hi,
Brothers,
I'm Jasmine.
How you guys feeling? Sisters, y'all alright? Is it the right way? I'm saying, sisters, how y'all feeling? Brothers, y'all alright? Y'all know what I mean.
We don't. We all are discombobulated today. Clearly, I said my name. Who are you?
I'm Charmaine. That's me. I think so.
Woo!
Okay, so guys, we are going to jump into today's episode. I need you guys to follow along with me. I need you to get out your book and we're gonna go to Fresh Prince season 2, episode 6. When you have it, get here with us.
Well, now you sound like a preacher. First you were a teacher, and then you were the preacher.
I was like, so when you gotta say amen,
say amen,
and not say hold
stand,
on.
Yes.
Y'all know
Okay.
how we do in the church.
Absolutely. Also, if you want to know what episodes we're going to do before we do them, let us know.
Yeah.
So you can rewatch with us, because we are rewatching or watching for the first time, and it's enlightening.
Yes. And then, like, that way you guys can follow along with us as we go through this journey. And then also, when we have questions and need answers, we need you guys to have
Right, you
questions
already
and need
watched
answers.
it, so you know.
So, like, join on
You
this
got
journey
us.
with us. Because it is a journey. So, on this particular episode, season 2, episode 6. Got it? Okay. Season 2, episode 6 of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
We're in rare form today, okay?
I would sing the theme song, but I'll spare you guys for now. But you guys all know it. So in this particular episode, we have one of the aunties, the youngest sister, Janice, is coming home for her wedding, and she's getting married, and she has a fiance that no one's ever met. And then when they meet the fiance, they're all shocked by the fact that the fiance is white. But no one says white. That's actually a thing that happens in the beginning of the show. When they realize he's white, no one absolutely wants to acknowledge it. They're like trying to tiptoe around it. They're like calling him tall. I had a friend once who was tall. I had a coworker once who was tall. I like tall people because no one really wanted to say the word white. And then we go through confusion, frustration,
angry.
Like all of these different feelings about Janice.
Yes.
Marrying a man who was white. So I think that we can start off with so we have the other sisters. We have Aunt Viv, this is also dark skin.
The OG.
Yeah,
Aunt
OG
Viv.
of dark skin Aunt Viv. So we have Aunt Viv who was there. We have Aunt Helen who was there, and then we have Will's mom, Aunt Viola.
What's Aunt Helen's husband's name? You remember? Her and her husband came, and their son Bobby.
Yeah, which Bobby's gonna be a whole nother story.
We'll get into that.
But
Everybody there for the wedding.
Yeah. So it starts off Janice, everyone's excited about meeting Janice's husband, fiance, and somebody else walks in. The cab driver walks in first. And they knew what they was doing, having this man walk in who was slick fine, right?
No, he's fine.
So he walks in and everybody's like, oh my God.
Even the audience was like,
okay. She knew how to pick him.
Right.
Look at him.
All the sisters are like,
yes. Sit him down. Do you want a plate? Do you need some food? How can we help you?
We got the woman is upstairs waiting for you.
This is great.
Okay.
And then the actual fiance walks in.
Yeah, which they think is the cab driver.
Yeah, so
this scene is iconic. It is
hilarious.
It is one of the best scenes. It's everything. Anyway, the fiance walks in and they hey, here's your tip. Go get the bags.
Yeah, you can go.
Thank you for bringing in the bags. And of course, not Helen, but Janice comes down and she kisses the white man, and everybody is shocked. That's where you get that iconic scene. Everybody
yeah,
just looking crazy.
Yes.
So as we do that, then we have the tall conversation.
Yes.
So there's a lot to unpack here. The first is Janice didn't tell anybody that this man was white.
And it was
for why?
Yeah.
Why?
And she says that she knew potentially that it was going to be a problem.
Well, she said she knew, she felt like they wouldn't approve.
Yes, but she also first says, I hope that no one would notice. That's a question that needs answers, but and we'll talk about that later. But she first says, I hope that no one would notice. As if that you was going to be the one in hide and go seek who was hiding behind the tree, like, can't nobody see me? Like, honey, we all see this situation.
But that's part of it. Also, we know the background. We know that Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, they was black and they was proud. So it wasn't going to fly in the family.
Yeah. But then not only that, like, you can tell from Aunt Helen, you can tell from Aunt Vi that this is, like, that your family was, like, potentially not going to be the most approving. So she was scared. I mean, like, and also, like, even if you're not 100% sure if they're going to approve, you know your family enough to know that you may have been the first one in the family to do something like this. So there's a little bit of nervousness of, like, ain't nobody else brought anybody else tall home. So I don't really know how this is going to go over. Like, even one of the references that they make in this show was about an Uncle Reuben, who came out the closet. And like, and they were like, well, like, it took us a minute, but, like, you know, we accepted that, but they still didn't even, like, quite say it. So it was like a borderline acceptance. I'm not sure, but, like, they even, like, referenced then of like, you know, the potential of them accepting certain things, because, like, we also see that after the wave of shock goes through,
everybody feels a little bit shocked, a little bit confused.
Yes.
Okay, everybody has initial feelings.
Yes.
But there's one person that struggles more than others.
But then after that, most everybody's like, okay, well, whatever it is, what it is. She loves him. Like, we were shocked for like 5 minutes, and now we're all ready to eat. Like, chapter close.
Right.
But Aunt Vi is
everybody moves on very quickly.
But Aunt Vi is like, no, I'm not moving on. This is a problem.
Dramatically.
And we need to discuss this.
No, we're not going. She said, we are not going.
Well, first she was like, the wedding's not happening. And then she's like, okay, well, then I'm not going.
Yeah. No, and we're not going.
Yes.
She took Will's hand and she said, we ain't going.
Yeah.
I said, we are not going, right?
Yeah. But we see this thing that happens with Aunt Vi, with her being the oldest sister and with her feeling like a potential motherly figure in this situation, not only for Janice, but for the entire family. Vi almost seemed like she stepped out in the midst of saying that I am telling you guys what's going to happen. And then when her sisters did not just like immediately agree with her, you can tell that they were all a little like scared to say anything.
Everybody's scared of her.
Yeah, but they didn't immediately say anything. So she went to like, the difference is where she could have control, which was Will. Okay, fine. I'm not controlling you guys. I'm controlling him. We're not doing this. And she's like trying to like get her power struggle back of, I'm in control of this family, and you guys won't let me be in control, so I'm going to do something to push to make sure that I can be in control.
Which for her is to throw a tantrum.
Yes, but I'm not sure if she even saw it as a tantrum. I think that she saw it as the fact that she, and like we talk about this plug in like Delivers from Eva video and like the soul food video. We talk about what happens sometimes in families when the family has become enmeshed, or when the family has become to a point where one person thinks that they kind of like has the role of, I control this family. I'm the matriarch in a way of this family.
The caretaker.
Yes, I'm the caretaker.
Especially if there's some trauma or something that the family has gone through, that also makes it a thing.
Yeah, because like in this, they don't really explain what happens to the sisters growing up, but like even Aunt Vi to say, I raised her, like she looks at Janice as almost like her child, not just like her sister, but like, no, I like, that's me.
No, definitely. I mean, context clues. You know, we all are always assessing the family. Doesn't matter what. We can't turn it off. But they're having a wedding. There's no parents. Aunt Vi's parents, all of the sisters, there's no parents there, right? Are they deceased? Do they not have a relationship? That's part of it.
Yeah.
One thing is, you can tell, okay, you know, like those relationships, you know how we be having aunts who are really like siblings because somebody had them late. So you can tell Will and Janice are around the same age. Like not exactly the same age, but she's the youngest. And so they kind of grew up together.
Yeah.
And if his mom was raising all the other siblings, she definitely raised Janice, right?
Yeah.
So part of it is like that whole situation of just like, the lines are blurred. I'm your mama.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you need to listen to me.
And then like that's the hard part too, because like then we see this thing of like when we see Aunt Vi continue to try to like assert this of like, no, I'm saying this, like I don't understand like what's happening, and then she kind of sort of crumbles into a little bit of vulnerability, and she says she's not listening to me, she doesn't respect me, she doesn't love me. That's how she like cuts it all together. Mm-hmm. That by you not by you not doing what I say, you're not respecting me and you don't love me. Mm-hmm. So she's hurt, and it's coming out in this anger, frustration of I want to shut this down.
Yeah.
But then we see a step further. It's not that she's trying to shut it down out of just being in control. There's a level of fear here for her. Mm-hmm. And they say this in this scene when all the sisters are up in the middle of the night because they can't sleep, and they're eating, and then like the conversation was just like, I don't understand why you would do this to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's two layers here. Like there's first, like she needs to be the one that people look to for advice. Like she needs to have that role for some reason, and it's kind of like the like you mentioned the deliver us from Eva part. She has the same defense mechanisms or survival mechanisms that Eva did in that video, right? Like she has a mouth on her, she is sassy, she lets people know, like she is almost aggressive in the way that she protects herself. And you can tell, I mean, those kind of things, I'll just say this, come from having to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you got a kid raising her younger siblings, that also means somebody is not parenting that kid or being as present as they can.
Yeah.
So like that's one thing. She already has that problem. The other thing is also like we're talking about a black family in the, are they supposed to be in the 90s?
Like early 90s, yeah.
Okay.
Like very, very early 90s.
I mean, I know it happened, but like it's set in the 90s too. Okay. A black family in the 90s in Bel Air in LA, and they're marrying into a white man. I don't remember when
but also at the same
thing
time,
passed,
but also at the same
interracial
time,
marriage, but
we're also talking about Bel Air. Not everybody's in Bel Air. And Vi still lives in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. So like she's like, I come down here to see y'all. I'm not a part of this world. I'm still part of my East Coast.
But I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both. Like Philly can look how Philly looks, but LA back then still was not.
Yeah, 100%.
What it needed to be, right? Because like how far away was that from Rodney King and all the stuff?
Yeah.
Like Rodney King, is that the right thing?
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got it right.
Okay. So like there's layers to this. There's safety, and she also has something else going on with her that's getting in the way of how she's expressing that. It makes sense. Like, and people don't always know that's what's happening. You just see the explosion.
Yeah.
But really what's going on is like, this is connected to this, which is connected to this.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that we also just need to unpack the elephant of the interracial marriage, and like we said, like in opening that up, that she had fear because not only of the times that we were in, but even like still present day, the fears that come up with that was like she asked her, don't you already have it hard enough being a black woman? Mm-hmm. Like life is already hard enough being black, and now you want to add on an extra layer by tagging on a white man to you. So now you're going to have more stares. You're going to have more critical issues. You're going to have more neighborhood issues. You're going to have
lose
kids.
Friends.
Yes, yeah. You're going to lose friends. You're going to have more people talking about you. You're going to have kids who now have to go through this situation. Who have to go through these situations. It was for her. It was the fear. If I want to protect you, of why choose this life if you don't have to?
I think that's part of it. I think it's still two-pronged, though. I think part of it is like, I'm scared for your well-being.
Yes.
Because we just know black people have been terrorized. They continue to be terrorized. Yes. It is literally physically dangerous and emotionally traumatic. That's one thing. The other thing is I think that if caregivers who put themselves on the line and they feel like they give people everything, they almost feel like there's sometimes this thing where they feel like that person is indebted to them. I gave you everything, and therefore your choices need to look like what I told you, or you're wasting what I gave you.
Yeah, that part,
and like almost leveraging that.
Don't waste what I give you. I mean, because like that's the thing that if I
that's kind of what she was saying.
If I'm the caretaker, if I'm the caretaker and I take care of you my whole life, and then you're like, well, I want to go sell spoons on the side of the road. oh, so I just wasted my entire life, like, paying for you to go to school and doing all these things for you to choose this as your choice?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like a slap in the face. Like, dog, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, there was a definite
but why is
level
that
of
not
frustration.
good? I feel like some people would be like, I mean, yeah, I love you. That's how I feel. But why is that not the best thing?
I think that the hard part for me was that it needed to be a conversation. The same way with both dynamics, there needs to be a conversation. The same way it was with the other sisters. The other sisters had their initial shock. We even saw with Helen, some of those same thoughts went through her head. But then she also was able to look at her sister and say, "I love you." Mm-hmm. I want you to be happy. I want you to love whoever you love. I want you to love whatever you love. And I trust you enough to make your own decisions. I don't think that you're that naive that you did not have all of these thoughts.
Maybe she didn't.
I mean, maybe she didn't. But for me,
it kind of sounds like she did.
But for me, I would. With people in my life, I would say, like, depending on who it is, I would say that I love you enough to know that we can either have the conversation and make sure that you have thought it all the way through. And if you're like, yeah, this is what I choose, then I trust you. I trust you to have your back if I need to have your back. And if I don't, go out, girl, be fruitful. Like, I don't know, prosper.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah. Go out there and do what you do.
But isn't that also a place you have to get to? Like, some people aren't really there. Like, let's keep them 100. Like, you can grow and, like, raise a child and love them and still not have that level of, like, letting go. But there still can be, like, I'm worried about what's happening to you. I need to keep you close.
But that's also more on the person.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that is her. Like, she needs to work on it. But you have to be at that place to show up and have that conversation like that. And that's why she couldn't, because she wasn't. Yeah. Because part of the issue that I have is that her saying, I did this and I did that, is also saying, like, my love is conditional. You do what I say and then I will love you. And it shouldn't. That shouldn't be the way that it happens.
But also the way that she received it. If you respect me, then you love me. And by you not doing this, you're not respecting me. So therefore now I'm not receiving love. But you also see that she was not able to come out of that space until her control was taken away. She didn't have anybody there. There was nobody underneath her saying like yes, we follow you. Even your son was like, no, I'm going to the wedding. Okay, so now I'm here.
Say it like that.
Yeah, but now I'm here. I'm uncomfortable. I have to deal with me. I mean, she could have. She could have kept pushing. She could have been like, well, fine, I'm leaving. I'm going back to Philadelphia. Cut the whole family off.
She could have had another tantrum.
Yes. Or she could have pushed through and she could have dealt with herself.
Which, come on now. This is the ultimate boundaries, okay? To have somebody, you're about to have a wedding and somebody is acting up to be like, okay, then don't come, but we still gonna have it anyway. Like, ultimate boundaries. You can do what you want to do, but we're also going to do what we're going to do. So you handle it and do that. And she needed that, because I think otherwise she wouldn't have handled her crap.
100%.
There's no way. You have to have, that's the thing about the system. The system has to put pressure on the thing so that it will move. Yeah. She was putting pressure on all of this, but there's power in numbers. The numbers put the pressure on her so that she had to change for the good, for everybody's good.
But so this is something that me and Jasmine say a lot in a lot of our videos whenever we're talking about families. We talk about the family system, and when it shifts, that it shifts the entire family system. And we see,
even if it's just one part, it's going to shift the whole thing.
Yes, and it has to. I'm like, there's no way to like move a piece without every single thing shifting. And in this situation, we see that by realized that there was a position that she had that she no longer had. So that therefore there was a shift in that for the entire family. But we also like can see like how that may have like affected that like you aren't playing in these positions, but also for them too, that you guys can't like look to her.
Well, I think
to be the
like,
person who's like making our decisions. Like,
yes, like we're good now. We don't need you in that position. And at first for her, it is shocking and it's scary. Okay, what do I do if I'm not in this position? How do I find my value in this family because they love me?
How can I
by
show
doing
up?
what I say?
I don't have any other value other than this.
Yes. Exactly.
But there's also beauty in the fact.
Well, she had to get there.
I tell my clients this all the time. Sometimes there's beauty in figuring out how you can show up without that pressure. Now, I know it's scary because you're so used to it, but think about the opportunities. If you just guess, like, what could you do? And what would it be like to be a sister who showed up just for sleepovers, who showed up for calls on the weekends, who did not have to have this level
To
of
come and
pressure
parent
and this
everybody.
role and take care of all these things, but I could, like,
Yep.
literally just, like, be there for fun.
For everything, not just the one
And
thing.
you can love me for me.
Unconditionally as well.
Not
right?
love me for what I'm doing for you.
That helps, though. That helps. But you have to, like, you got to sit with that. Like, because it is a kind of
scary.
grief. It's a kind of loss. But it also is good for the whole family to say, hey, we don't need you in that role anymore. Like, we're okay.
Or for me to say, like, even, like, better to say I don't need you, but to say, I just want to be able to enjoy you.
Yeah, or I need that side of you. Because you're always in parent mode, I can't get sister.
Yes.
I always have to get mom.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, this is a necessary change. It just can be a little explosive.
Yeah.
Before it's good.
And it was a little explosive before it was good. And, like, we actually see in this sense that, like, literally, like what you were saying, that, like, the show would go on. The wedding went on. Like, and I was still upstairs in that bedroom when they was
nothing.
when they was still starting the wedding downstairs in the backyard. Up until the point where she walked in the middle of the wedding and was like, okay, I'm gonna be a part. Because, I mean, you either you get on this train or you don't. Which once again would affect everybody. But you're making the choice.
Absolutely. And can I just give you a pro tip? Just like a little nugget there. If you are going to have if you anticipate a hard conversation happening, or like there's going to be an adjustment that's going to happen, talk about it early. Don't wait until the last minute when things have a lot of pressure around them. Talk about it early and often, right?
I mean, 100% holding Janice accountable for the fact that you have told your sisters.
Yeah, she played a part in that.
You have told your sisters about this man several times, and you did not at any point, like
prepare anybody, or even like, okay, I think she was trying to defend herself. She said, hey, me and him have already had all these hard conversations. 100%. She also could have said that, like, you know, we talked about this. I really considered what this was going to be like for my life, but we still want it. You know, I feel like that also could help.
Which is great, but also, if I am a part of you, girl, let me in. Let me in before you shock me.
Yeah.
Just saying.
This is all a good point.
So, but I think that is one of the hard parts that we talk about over and over again, the vulnerability in love and the vulnerability in these difficult conversations, because they require us to be vulnerable and trust. And those things are uncomfortable and scary.
Yes, and accountable too, right? Like if I do a thing, then I have to explain it to people and I have to do all these things. You got to show up. You have to show up. Not even just physically. You have to emotionally show up, and that's hard.
Yeah.
All of it. It's all, you know, layers happening there.
I mean, all in all, there was like definitely some funny parts of this episode, but it was definitely another episode to look at, like, the way that our family dynamics shift, like the way that we show up, like, yeah.
It's a lot. I'm trying to think of what else I have on that. I don't know. It's just almost a perfect episode. I can't think of anything wrong with it. It's really great.
Oh, I have some questions that need answers.
I mean,
and
we got questions.
Because there was definitely some things in the episode I was just like, what? Huh?
I mean that, but it was like a mix of like heartfelt and like we're talking about some serious stuff. What I did notice, I did rewatch it, is that they talked about sex a lot in this episode. Like, a lot.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's really interesting. It was almost like existential. Everybody's like, what do I want when I get married? Everybody has an opinion about this. Who do I want to spend the rest of my life with? Do I want to spend the rest of my life with? It was like all like that.
I like the fact that they did throw out a couple of other, like, you know, deep, like, you know, like situations like that. Like okay, so
I mean,
so,
look,
it
was the 90s.
Like, you know,
they love
like,
a deep.
Too deep, but
they
like,
love a special episode. Okay.
Yeah, or like sprinkle in some special, like, you know, we ain't gonna go deep, but like we'll
but
like
Fresh
sprinkle
Prince
in.
was good about that, honey.
Yeah.
We got the gun episode. We got all the stuff.
Yes, yeah.
The dad episode, like,
Yeah.
but it's just they have a good mix of
Drugs and
funny
everything. Yeah, 100%.
and like heartfelt, which I really like.
Yeah.
But then we got questions, y'all, because not everything.
There was definitely some questions that needed answers.
It was
in
good,
the
but
show.
it wasn't always black. Let's start there. Why? This is how you know there were not black people involved in a part of this, because you know that if we are going to take some thing out of the fridge.
Oh.
If you know that that's going to happen. They took a turkey?
A ham.
A ham out the fridge. It was uncovered. Nothing
There was
on
a ham on a glass plate just in the refrigerator.
Just naked.
And then when they opened the refrigerator, there was multiple other glass plates.
Open.
I'm just
Open
naked
air.
food.
Naked.
In a Tupperware bowls.
That's scandalous in the black community. There's no way. We ain't even leaving stuff on the counter long enough uncovered. Or if it is, it's done. It was uncovered. It's over. Let alone put it in the fridge. Open.
Okay. So, yeah, that was a question that needed answers. And then, like I said, they got up in the middle of the night and just put everything out the refrigerator.
Aluminum foil?
It was like just like eating it. I was like, okay.
Tupperware top?
Okay.
I had trouble.
Aunt Helen has a son named Bobby, who is a terror.
It's always a Bobby.
Bobby.
It's always a Bobby.
Mm-hmm. Don't do Bobby like that. But he was a terror. First of all, they said that Bobby was attacking squirrels, that he burned down Ashley's Barbie dream house, and that he covered Carlton's eyes while he was driving.
Didn't he steal something from the mall or something? They did something at the mall. I don't remember. But
something was wrong with Bobby.
Mm-hmm. Everybody knew it.
And we laughing about it.
But ain't nobody trying to give Bobby no help.
Attacking squirrels? Burning down Barbie's dream house? Like, this
little baby is tiptoeing on antisocial. What are we
We
doing?
didn't like stepped out of like a little bit of discipline into like a bit of a conduct problem here, and like I don't understand. Now it's dangerous. Like you got fire. Like you're attacking animals. Like, but we're gonna laugh about this. Question and need answers. What was wrong with Bobby?
Early intervention, folks. It works. It is effective.
Don't laugh about it. Don't conceal. We need to heal.
Early intervention.
Go
ahead and talk about the cake and the wedding.
So yeah, there was a cake at the wedding. Mm-hmm. There was a cake topper,
which I still didn't see when I rewatched the second time. No.
So it was like a cake topper. Like they showed it briefly as it was like going through the wedding stuff, and it was like a cake topper, and it was a guy with a lopsided afro on top of this, and I was like, what is happening?
Did he have lopsided afro, or did he have like an afro that Will Smith would have had back then? That's like, you know.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't like intentional, is what you're saying?
No, it wasn't like a gum beard or anything like that. It was like an actual like big afro. It was just like.
But lopsided?
That thing was just, it was a weird looking cake topper.
If y'all find it, let us know.
Yeah, we're gonna find it. We're gonna find that.
What about the wedding? There was also something else about the wedding when Aunt Vi walked in.
Oh, that like, so y'all, if y'all watch this scene, we need to like show this. So they in the middle of having a wedding.
I know.
In the backyard. On the bottom. Everybody's talking, like everything, like they're in the middle of the wedding ceremony. And Vi opens the back door. Well, like, no, the back door was already open. She comes out the back door, and like everyone's like, oh, as they heard her. Did y'all really hear her walk in? Like the dramatic effects, like didn't nobody hear you, Amber? But
it was absolutely silent.
Yeah,
like literally nobody was even talking. Everybody was just.
Yeah, it was dramatic. It was just a tad bit dramatic.
I was doing a lot. So, if we're still on the wedding, this little light of mine, y'all. Maybe this is because I don't know things, or, you know, born in the 90s, so I don't know. I wasn't watching Fresh Prince in real time when it was happening. So, this little light of mine, is that not a gospel song?
So at the end at the end of the
sung
show,
it all together.
They all sing, and they're all like holding. Was it one candle, multiple candles? They're all like standing, really, really.
They look like the boys' choir.
Yeah,
all like, standing very uncomfortably close
around
and
a light,
singing.
and they're singing
in the wedding clothes.
And I have no idea
this little light of mine. Was the white man there? I still don't know. Where was Frank?
I don't know.
He might have been singing. I feel
like that there was definitely a level of significance to it, but I don't know.
But we didn't know what the significance was, because why that song?
Yeah,
it's not. Is that like Somebody tell me. I tried to do the research. I didn't find it. Is that like a song slaves used to sing at the end to prove that they were married? Is it like jumping the broom? I was really trying to figure it out.
I have no idea.
The only thing that I found was that it was kind of a symbol of the movement, right? Like you know what I'm saying? Why words are not happening of the movement with the black people being free, and so there's that. But like also, what does that mean? Because that is like freedom for black people. But we talking about interracial marriage. Like, this is two different things.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Is that what they're trying to do?
I have no idea. Questions and the answers. If anybody knows, like, please help us out here.
It was also really strange.
Enlighten us. Another one that I just had, like, going back to the beginning, though, is what took Frank so long to come in? Like, what was Frank doing that it took you so long to walk into the house? And then the cab driver got out the car and came inside the house, and Frank was still outside.
Did he bring the stuff, or did Frank bring his own stuff in?
Frank brought some stuff in.
Oh, they both brought stuff in. Okay.
Which I'm like, what was you doing, Frank? I don't know. Questions that need
answers. I guess they did that back in the day.
When Will was talking, and it was funny, but not funny, because I feel offended. But when Will
they should have used Carlton better.
When Will said, when I get old, like, 29 or 30. Okay.
Which they were supposed to be like, what, 16?
Yeah, but I guess I can't remember, like, being, like, young and thinking that the 30 was going to be old.
I thought that, too. Oh, when I'm 30, I'm going to settle down and everything's going to be different.
I'm gonna be like, dang, me retiring at that age.
Mm-hmm. Don't know nothing.
Yeah, that time can't pass.
Not a single thing.
Not really a question that needed answers, but I just want to, like, highlight the hilariousness and also my love for anytime that Carlton sung or danced in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So, and him saying that he had songs that he wanted to sing for the wedding, and he broke out his Ebony and Ivory, and he started singing Jungle Fever. I loved it. I loved it.
A whole little medley.
Yes.
And dances to go with all of it. They underutilized Carlton in the beginning. I think they figured it out more at the end, but like in the beginning of the thing, they didn't like Carlton can do everything.
I loved Carlton.
Actor, yeah.
I still think that my favorite one probably was like the Soul Train episode when he like did his whole like Michael Jackson thing. I was in love. I loved it.
Oh, I like the stripper episode too when they did that.
Oh, yes.
All of it's good.
Yes, yeah, absolutely love it. Okay, so guys, as
I'm sure
always,
we missed something.
Probably.
Sure. Tell us. What are your questions?
So as always, like, comment, subscribe, like, talk to us. We talk back. Tell us your questions that need answers. Tell us what you thought.
We see all your comments. We see all your stuff. We always have stuff to. We always have stuff to say. Y'all always have good stuff to say to us because we also be learning.
Yes, love it. So educate us if you have any really answers to the questions that we had.
Or more questions.
Yeah. And as always, stay mentally dope.